Okay, so today I would like to talk to you about how you can make the most of your therapy experience. Some of you have never been into therapy before, and it can be kind of scary or overwhelming to be going in for the first time. Most people are like, what should I expect? So, for the first session, you really should expect it to be kind of difficult. And the reason is because essentially it's a big overview session. Your goals are to tell me what the problems are. I'm to assess kind of some of the things that are going on behind it. And we're trying to set up goals for therapy. But basically, what that feels like is essentially us stirring up the pot of all those issues that you've been talking about for sometimes several years. So you should expect that first session to be a little bit tough. However, don't come into that first session expecting to fight. Fighting doesn't help you at all. In fact, most couples have already been fighting or having conflict about some of the issues that they bring in therapy for a while. And so our job in therapy is not to fight about it, it's to talk about it and see if we can come to some better conclusions. So don't expect to fight. And then another thing that you should expect is to do homework. The best couples sessions I've ever had involved couples who have they set up an appointment time between therapy sessions where they're doing like a coffee date or a relationship check-in. So you'll do some things in session with me, but a lot more of the work you should expect to be doing in between the sessions. And those couples who have that coffee date or that like therapy session without me are having better sessions because they are accountable to each other even outside of these sessions. So that's another thing that can help. And then I would also expect in therapy, there is this thing we call 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's so common for couples to come in here all gung-ho and ready to make changes. And so they make these changes, but you're still a creature of habit. And so what'll happen is you'll start to make the change, but that old habit part of you says, nope, we're going to go back to the way things were. And so then it'll feel like you take 2 steps back or 1 step back. And I would just not let that make you feel like a failure. It's perfectly normal. Most couples are failing towards success, meaning you do well, then you make a mistake, and then you do well again, and then you make another mistake, or you go back to those old habits. So don't see it as a failure. Just assume that's a part of the therapy process. We kind of see it like steps. And then finally, you should expect a holistic approach from me. You may only be coming in for sex therapy or couples therapy or like to deal with parenting, for example. However, there are quite a few factors in people's lives that usually contribute to problems. So even if you're just coming in for a sex problem, if I don't assess for things like your relationship health or if there are things that you're resentful of, then we're not going to get to the end goal of you guys having a better sex life. So I would expect always that in that first session, into the first few sessions, that I'll be asking a lot of questions that while they don't seem relevant, they are relevant in the long term to helping you get to that better, happier place. So ultimately, I hope that you come in and have a great experience.